His best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great Western Ocean to discover new lands. They succeeded in ways no one could imagine. Now, 3,000 years later, their descendants have made a home for themselves on a new planet, and the calls of adventure and discovery are stronger than ever. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the High and Old Blade Keeper, DJ Knight as Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Monsagene Biopriest, Abria Iyengar as Koseh, the Hyanol Fixer, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they explore new planets, make new friends, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Season 3 of Into the Motherlands. We are back and we are so very happy that you are here with us. My name is Eugenio. You might know me as DM Jazzy Hands, and I'll be your storyteller once again this season. I'm thrilled to be back with you all. Let's hop right in to introducing all of the other phenomenal faces that are going to be with you for the next 10 weeks, shall we? Last season we did roles. Today this season it's a free-for-all. Y'all decide who introduces in what order. Go.
Hello.
Knew I could count on you.
Got you, boo. Hi, I'm Abria Iyengar. I don't know my name. I will botch it from there, but I will.
I didn't ask you to be right. I just asked you to intro.
There we go. Abria, don't worry about my last name, and I'm playing Koseh, your Hyanal fixer.
There it is. And why don't tell us one thing that we learned about Koseh from last season?
We learned that Koseh made Tiwi her mech companion that also doubles as a multi-tool at a very young age and has been constantly refining him. So she's lost count of like which iteration number it is, and she's had to build him again from scrap due to the events of last season.
Oops. All right, well, on that note, who's next?
I like how none of us
I'll
talk, so I'll just
go.
fucking
Oh, you got it.
Ladies first.
Hi, I'm Tanya. It's my fault we're all here tonight. Thank you for coming back. I play Invicta, your Hyanal Blade Keeper, and I'm glad to be back. I've missed everyone a lot, and I'm not saying that just to say it. I miss all my friends that we get to make adventure. So welcome back. And now I nominate Michael because he spoke next.
Ooh, getting organized about it. Okay.
All right, cool. Hello, my name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I play Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer. Their pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are he, him. Super excited, like Tanya said, to see all my friends again and to just be in this wonderful crew. So let's get it.
All right, hold on. Before you pass it on, though, I need things that we learned about Invicta and Ilay in last season.
Pass.
Pass off. Was it? Did you say pass?
Wow. Invicta needs therapy. That's what we discovered.
Fair enough.
And she has some things to work out still. I discovered.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's a good discovery too. Ilay?
I'm having a hard time trying to come up. We'll give you something to lead up into the next season. Like, Ilay's dating multiple people, so y'all can do whatever you want for that.
Wait, is that confirmed in Canada? Wait, what? Did I miss? Hold on. I was here last season. What?
This happened.
Maria and what's his name?
Excuse
Hold
me.
on. Wait, what?
What?
They're out
I'm
here
feeling
together.
real blindsided.
Well, there you go.
Maria and
Anyway,
Decker. Maria and Decker. That's their name.
Passing it over to DJ. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Not that it's my
question?
business. Not that it's my business.
It's my business?
What?
Yeah.
We'll go into it.
And
We have
don't
over 10
forget,
weeks.
don't
We got 10 weeks.
We got
10 weeks.
Hold on. I got multiple smoothies out here. What's going on with this?
right. And we're all here like, I beg pardon.
Like, Miss Scoozy? Pardon?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to season 3.
Oh.
Ridiculous. Hi,
That was
DJ.
fantastic. Oh, hi.
Hi, DJ.
It's me. I'm DJ. Apparently, I was chosen next and wasn't really paying attention because I was still laughing at the fact that Ilay's got multiple suits, people that they're because reasons.
Sorry?
I was gonna say suitor,
Wait,
but suitor is
that's
like
one way
not
to-
necessarily the right word to use. So like multiple
go.
people
There you
that
go.
they are dating. That's pretty awesome. I'm Ikemba, Musalian bio priest, and I have a problem with MOBAs where you get to catch them all. I feel like you all understand where I'm going with that, but it's an enjoyable thing when I'm not at the computer playing video games here on the internet trying to make jokes and be funny. Whether or not it works. One thing we learned about Ikemba last season is that he figured out a way to figure out how to eat more cheese without getting cheese sweats, which I feel like is a very important thing for somebody who loves gush puppies as much as Ikemba does, and really is by association as much as I do, because Ikemba is literally me. Reasons. It's awesome. Eat more cheese. Gush puppies for the win. All of you are amazing. Thanks for coming in to hang out with us for season 3.
Also, we match.
We
They
do.
do.
Well
Yeah,
played.
You do.
It's a fancy shirt. You have options. You can go and get it yourself. You got like
I got a darker gray. DJ has a lighter gray.
I got the super soft shirt, and it is legitimately
Ah.
super soft. It feels fantastic. So yes, I get to rep Ikemba while also being super comfy. Yay!
I love a merch corner, but Christina, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yay!
Wow.
Hi, Christina.
Hi.
I just want to say that my hand was raised because I wanted to go before DJ to introduce DJ, but not go when DJ was going, go after DJ because I wanted to go DJ, and that's my DJ, go DJ, and I was really excited about it.
You got 9 more weeks. You gonna have time, because I'm not organizing this in the future either.
But you know, time keeps on slipping into the future.
Into the future.
Hi, my name is Christina Ariel, and I play Admiral Sila 919, formerly Captain Sila 919, formerly Sila 919, but it's Admiral Sila 919. Sila has been dealing with her newly inserted emotions chip and learning how to process all of the feelings and get to a place where she understands that all of the feelings work together to be good feelings, but some of them will be bad. And so she's processing that and has been seeking therapy, but she may need more after we figure out what happened to Bertrand, because Unio and B-Dave are evil and sadistic when it comes to...
Yeah, but is that because of Bertrand or because neither of us will let you be an admiral yet?
How do you not let me be an admiral? I have been promoted. The paperwork has been filed. I wrote it out myself.
I was gonna say, who wrote that paperwork? Who wrote it?
I did.
I was like, wait a minute.
I hacked the system to make sure that it was inserted. Like, what do you have to do to get some respect?
Earn the title of admiral. We're not having this conversation.
Sila had a little bit of, she was really mean to Koseh without thinking about the effects of how it would be, because Koseh sacrificed Tiwi, and Sila took that personally because it made her feel like androids were disposable, and her and Koseh came to heads about that. But they actually are getting ready to bond, and they're bonding right now, and hopefully they're getting to a place where they don't hate each other. And Invicta loves Sila.
I never hated you.
For the record. All right. Well, that's that was our beautiful, totally in character for all of us introduction segment. We're so excited to be back for season 3, you all. It's been an awesome month that we've had off. We are, those of us on the dev side, are working on stuff for the Kickstarter. We're really excited to get back with you all to Vitoa, to Musalia, to the motherlands. So if you are rejoining us after the first 2 seasons, or if this is your first episode, a quick little recap from the beginning. We met our first 4 adventurers as they were being hired by an intragalactic, right? Is that in between? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Between an organization called Torch, that is a sort of humanitarian peacekeeping sort of organization, and the crew was hired to go out to the planet of Hatharay, which is the home planet for the Hatharayans, an elephantine species of peoples. They were having some trouble. All of their water comes from a single one of their moons that is frequently pelted with ice asteroids, and the water had suddenly dried up. They were sent out there to figure out what was going on. And they figured out what was going on. To make a season 1 story short, it was some horrible squid creatures that nobody knew anything about, called Hapalocks, that were stealing away the water. The crew came back to Vitoa after having to flee a rather powerful Hapalock ship that was in pursuit of them. They made it back and got some much-deserved R&R while Torch figured out what to do next. That brought us to season 2, with Koseh joining the 5-member crew, and they were sent while Torch continued to work on the Hapalock troubles. They were sent planetside to the vacation seaside town of Mandira to investigate a strange ship crash out there. The ship had no discernible markings, no drive signatures, no nothing that Torch could identify, and it was very strange. So they went out there and investigated and learned quite a bit. They met another another Misajai who was also apparently a volcano or something, not super clear there. They discovered that this mysterious ship that had crashed was in fact some sort of a recon ship that released some mechanical probes onto the planet. Several of our characters were tagged, sampled, something by one of these creatures. They were finally able to subdue it with the help of the volcano. And just as they were going out to investigate what had happened to the second probe that they knew was out there somewhere in the deep blue sea, something happened. They discovered evidence of Hapalock involvement with these ships, whatever they are. And it was quite the season 2 cliffhanger. And just because I am both cruel and thorough, I thought perhaps we should see the moment one more time. Okay, well, that was super dramatic, but I've just heard from the producer that the button is not working and I'm just standing here. So we do have a video of the end of last season. Hopefully we'll get it up for you all in just a moment. But basically okay, rolling now, here we go.
Previously on Into the Motherlands.
You are all fast enough that you swim your hearts and or synthetic hearts out. And at the very last moment, a rather large wave pushes you all along just that extra little bit of distance as something rises out of the water. And at first, you think perhaps Invicta, you have the right of it. You think perhaps this is a Hapalock ship. It looks sort of similar in shape to the ship that you all, once you had, taken care of its cloaking abilities, that you were able to sort of see with the long sort of tentacles in the back. But you realize that it's not, in fact, a ship, and that the tentacles are all attached to something way down at the ocean floor. And the nose of what you thought was a ship it's sort of sitting on the surface, and the whole thing begins to tilt at an angle so that the nose of this, whatever it is just beginning to point up towards the sky. And as this wave sort of pushes you all the last few feet away from whatever this is, a deafening, almost like a dragon roar mixed with a foghorn mixed with an alarm bell, roars out, and an enormous multicolored, it almost looks as if the beam that it comes out of this thing is being split by a prism. A multicolored beam of light fires out of the nose of this thing, whatever it is, and out into the sky. And the last thing that you all hear before another wave overtakes you and pushes you onto the beach by Mandira is Captain Rafia saying, "How strange. We've lost contact with Bertrand." And that's where we're going to leave this season.
Wow.
Of Into the
How
Motherlands.
dare you?
What?
Wow. Okay.
Last season, and we should jump right into that exact moment as we begin season 3 of Into the Motherlands. Let's do it. So you all have been shoved up onto the beach by a second wave that overtook you right after Captain Rafia sort of said through her communicator to you all that she had lost contact with Bertrand. Koseh, you and Asalje and Yaktur, who were all back at Kusili, the research center, saw the thing come out of the water, and Yaktur and Asalje brought you out to the beach to get a better look. And through the magic of I need it to work this way, you happen to be pretty close to where the rest of the crew washes up on the beach. So you all are reunited, and that's the moment. You're still connected to Rafia. You can hear, to Major Rafia, you can hear that she is clearly sort of moving somewhere. She was in her office, the connection is still there, and you can hear her footsteps. She is walking somewhere. Oh, there's some excitement going on, I see, on the stream. I think we're together now. All right, so have at it, y'all.
Are you all okay? What happened?
I'm not going to be okay until I know Bertrand's okay.
Hello?
Yes. Sila 919 is. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
What just happened? I'm headed to command to see if I can get more information. What just occurred?
Don't you know?
I only know that connection to the Wistful Wish was immediately severed, and we're unable to locate the wish on our scanners.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Did you all see anything? Do you know what happened? What could have possibly happened?
We told Bertrand to get out.
Yes, he radioed in, and we knew we were waiting. We knew to expect him here at Torch.
Is he at Torch?
No.
Then there's a problem.
I believe that there is a miscommunication here. I am also concerned for the Wistful Wish, but I don't understand what happened to you all.
We were following what Torch wanted us to investigate. We found one of these machines and we looked for the other machine in the ocean.
Are you all hurt? Why? No one's explaining everything fast enough. Please explain faster.
Sorry, we're just getting our breath. The moss is
Oh yeah, it's not the most pleasant experience, but you all are sort of,
yes.
Hacking up water, and it's not, it's fine. It'll be over in a minute.
We're trying to save our lives. We just listened to something happen to Bertrand, even though someone wants to say something happened to the Wistful Wish, because we don't care about the ship. We would like to know what happened to Bertrand, but we're not getting answers fast enough because someone doesn't have the proper communications in place.
As you're saying that, Sila 919, you hear all of a sudden over the comlink with Rafia, you hear an explosion of voices and bustling noises and busy. Clearly, Rafia has made it to command, and things are not great. So you can sort of hear her. She hasn't bothered to switch off her comm, so you can hear her sort of talking to a few people there. And she gets back to you, and she says, "We're getting reports in a weapon of some sort was fired. Were you all witness to this?"
No, we were underwater at that time, I believe, or just coming out of it. And can I use a resource? Because I know that sometimes we can use resources.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get a hold of Maria and Decker, because they still might be able to find, that was my former occupation before Torch, was to go and find downed aircraft or people who needed assistance from stuff like that. So I don't know how you want to play that out, but I think Ilay's going to try and contact them to see if we can at least get them to start investigating it or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do is everyone started this session with at least one plot point. So spend your plot point, and we can play out a conversation with them. But what we'll do is we'll call them an asset for probably the next scene or whenever it's relevant that they're present.
Good with me.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Rafia comes back and says, I've been able to get a bit more concrete information for you all. It seems that some sort of aquatic weapon was fired. As near as we can tell, the target was very, very far away. We are not exactly sure what the weapon was aiming at. We've sent probes to attempt to discover it. From what we can tell, we've lost signal with the Wistful Wish and have received a distress beacon. It seems that the Wish may have been in the line of fire when the weapon went off. We have no indication yet as to whether or not Bertrand managed to get off the ship in time or not. We do have coordinates for the last lone location of the Wish. We are sending a rescue team as quickly as we can.
Was the distress beacon built in? Is it an automatic system, or does someone have to set it off?
This particular beacon is automatically activated in the event of serious structural damage to the hull of the ship.
So, but you've gotten no additional cries of distress. Nothing.
Nothing yet, Silo 919. I do apologize. And as soon as news, information, anything gets to us here, we will relay it to you. I can send you the coordinates, if you would like, of the last known location. Perhaps there is, there's an extended pause. Perhaps there is a chance that he is there.
I think sort of out of the frame, you see that Koseh has just sort of lifted a tablet into view and is like, so I've pulled up his medical charts and I'm scanning. Is there any like interesting upgrades to his person made perhaps with technology that could be pinged to see if it's still active?
I recognize that this is not the time, but we should really look into our security protocols if you got in that quickly, Koseh. As far as
I'm stressed. This took longer than normal.
She'll just learn them again. You're wasting your time.
I will.
Again, a sort of extended pause, and Rafia, like you, Sila, doesn't need to breathe, but she sighs anyway, and says, fair enough. As far as we are aware, Bertrand never had technological upgrades. However, if he was able to get to the escape pod, there is a chance that signal might be locatable, depending on if and when it detached from the rest of the ship. It might be your best bet.
It's perfect. That's exactly what I would need. Koseh, and I'm gonna gesture like, can I borrow your device? And I'm gonna grab Koseh's device, and obviously I'm gonna have Koseh like look over, so in case I need to do something, I know how to use technology.
There was no universe in which Koseh didn't watch you do it. Just
cool. Can I use this device to send out a message over to the like search and rescue team that I used to belong to?
Yeah. To Maria and Decker and their crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna shoot them a quick message, just like, I guess I'm just gonna run the text, because text message is probably whatever form of messaging that's text-based is probably the fastest way instead of calling them, and that's what they would be used to.
So who wants to be talking on the phone? It's 6 bajillion years in the future. It's not that far in the future.
All right,
we're not talking on the phone.
Quick message. It's better than the SMS texting of clicking. It's more efficient, but the same type of thing.
T9,
you know what I mean?
Actually.
Yeah, there's like a circle in the whole thing. But anyway, put that in the books. Continuing forward. So I'm gonna use that and say, hello, love. So sorry to be a bother. We have a signal. I can give you the frequency of it, and it's a good friend Bertrand, the one I spoke about. Please hurry. Please see if they're okay. Contact me back on this device, and that's all I'm gonna send. Like as a quick thing. If that could be my like plot point resource that I can use
Absolutely.
for this session, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you get a and you can tell me which one of them this is from, but you get like the response is simply on it.
That's probably Maria.
Yeah, it was sort of my guess too, but yeah, just like terse and like we're not wasting time. You said it's important, so we're good. So all you get is on it, and you know that like wherever they are, they will be there either before you or at the very worst shortly thereafter. Cool. They will make it happen.
Ikemba, are you okay?
We're on the ground. Torch considers us an important team. We told them. Get Bertrand out. And now we don't know where he is. I'm not okay. And I won't be okay for some time until we know for sure that Bertrand is all right. So I'm trying my hardest to say nothing, so that I don't say things to have Torch understand just how pissed off I am.
Oh. And she just gives you a little pat on the forearm. Okay.
Thank you.
Once we get Bertrand back, and he's fine and okay, I'd like to open a conversation about installing tracker chips on everyone in the crew.
No.
It could solve these problems in advance.
No.
Not happening at all.
No.
We just cut tracker devices out of us. No.
But mine would be different.
No.
How?
Wouldn't put you to sleep.
I want to know how it's different. I need a distraction. Tell me. How is it different?
Well, I would not have a physical chip, and we can do this as a walk and talk, because she'll go on for.
We should walk and talk. Yeah, definitely. As much as I want to, turnabout's fair play and make you make up random.
I'll do it
right now. I know you will.
I would do like an isotope that's unique to everyone's signal in their blood, so you couldn't ever take it out, but I would know what it is, so I could find you.
You nerd.
But I would make sure it was super safe and only I could use it.
There you go. All right. So all of that is being described in far more detail than probably any
real
of you
gross.
really wanted. Yeah, it's not
like
cute.
a little radiation, not enough to kill you, probably.
It's just small little burns. As you all walk and head to the transport that brought you to Mandira that you can now take to these coordinates, he said questioningly.
I believe so.
Okay, great. Yes, I'm seeing confused faces, but we're going to go with it. All right. So you all get back. It all sort of started here on, not far from this beach, not far from Kusili. So you can get back to that transport pretty quickly. Koseh is already intimately familiar with the inner workings of this transport. So it's the matter of seconds for her to input the distress beacon's coordinates and to get it heading at far faster speeds than it was ever designed for, to head that way. On the way, Ilay, you get a much more conciliatory message, probably from Decker, that both is we do this, we do this all the time. You know better than anybody that making a decision about whether or not this person is alive or not before we find out information is useless. You're going to be okay. He's going to be how he's going to be, and we're going to take care of this. And he's also included a rough sketch of where the ship is, where the ship beacon is, and then where the the escape pod. Oh my God, my words are failing me. Where the escape pod beacon is, and there's several kilometers between them. And he sort of says, you all are closer to the ship beacon. We're closer to the escape pod beacon. So we're going to start out here. And he's sort of drawn a map of the pattern that they're going to search, and you all will meet in the middle is his suggestion to you. You are muted, but I'm sure it's
I present the information to the crew.
I'm going to go to the escape pod beacon.
We have to go by ourselves.
Who else is gonna go?
I'm going.
Which way? Escape pod or the other signal?
I'm going to the pod.
Do I still have my connection with Rafia?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Rafia, if we get into the escape pod, can you give us updates?
Yes, of course. I will reroute emergency services from Torch to split between the ship and the escape pod beacon, and we will keep you updated as to whatever we are able to find.
Right. So as long as we retain this connection, then we should be able to all go into the pod and figure it out. I really don't think we should split up right now.
I agree.
Great. So Ilay, you can let Decker and Maria know, and they'll adjust accordingly.
Yeah. I'll just put, we're all going to the escape pod. Surely you can understand, and let me know what you find on your end. And that's what I'll send over to them.
And clearly Maria has taken the device back because you just get copy back.
Sweet.
So into the transport, and off you all go. And it is a tense drive. Bertrand had not made it all the way back to Torch, so it's not that long of a ride, but every second feels like an eternity. And because you actually were closer to the main wreckage site, you're going to pass it as you go on towards the escape pod. And you can see that you're getting close to it before you can see the ship itself, because you hear the klaxons and you see the lights of local emergency services cordoning off the area. They have obviously been involved or been informed that you're coming through, so they wave you right through the barricades, and you see the Wish as you hover past quickly. It doesn't look like the Wish anymore. You can see where the weapon sliced it in half from bow to stern. And then as it re-entered the atmosphere, because Bertrand had done, since it was a starship, Bertrand had sort of done a little, up and back down. And as the two halves of the ship re-entered the atmosphere, it just disintegrated. And there are pieces of debris, probably half a kilometer in any direction at least. And you see, you pass by and you see one of the seats that was in the common area, or you see a big puddle of melted cheese, or you see, the helm. And as quickly as you get to this, yes, Koseh.
I have a question, because I was rebuilding Tiwi on the Wish. Is there a universe in which I left Tiwi on the Wish?
I mean, I don't think so, but I'll let you decide ultimately. But I would 100% buy that Tiwi did not leave your side, no matter what state Tiwi was in.
All right. It was more of a if I could use Tiwi for recon.
Oh, well, it's up to you. I mean, Tiwi's not going to be in great shape, but I mean, it's a piece of tech that that you could certainly use. So it's up to you. It was already in a rough state anyway. So
yeah, you know what? I think what's in Koseh's pocket right now is the back half of Tiwi. She left the top bit. She's like, I gotta get these the hindquarters going because he is not scrambling the way I need him to. So she didn't take all of him. So I think she kind of jumps up as we are flying over the wreckage. We gotta go down. Tiwi's down there.
Yeah.
Half of Tiwi, and I just hold up the butt. Please, can we stop and pick up Tiwi?
Can't you build more Tiwi? Bertrand is living. Bertrand may be hurt and need us. Can't we get Tiwi on the way back?
Um, well, I'm gonna unpack the hurtful part of what you said later, but if the front half of Tiwi was awake, maybe Tiwi noticed if Bertrand made it off.
Invicta does her best not to like get out of her like safety harness because she's just like she doesn't care about Tiwi in this moment. She's just concerned for Bertrand.
There could be more info. It's fine. We can keep going. And Koseh just sits back down.
How many times do we have to have this conversation? We already lost one friend, and now we're already on the search for one friend. And again, we come back to it doesn't matter because Tiwi is a droid. Does anybody? I understand that we are in a dire situation, but that's a dire situation too. Because would you just rebuild me? Let's go.
Admiral, it's okay.
No, no. I bang on the wall behind me because I always sit like in the jump seat, and I bang on the wall, and I'm just like, we need to land at the wreckage.
Thank you.
You're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. So with that, as you know, the tension couldn't be tauter, and then it was. So you all head down to the sort of epicenter of the wreckage site. Koseh, I will say, if the front half of TV was there, it's no difficult feat to figure out about where he is. Getting to him might be tricky because he's going to be buried underneath quite a bit of wreckage. Yes, Ilay.
As we're touching down, or as we were riding, I'm gonna try and notice if there's any firefighting materials like AFFF foam or any like the regular dry fire like extinguishers or whatever. Start spotting those out. And as we land, I'm just gonna hand them out to folks so that we're ready. If the thing that we come up to, whether it be Tiwi or Bertrand, and it's too hot, we can kind of cool it down.
Yeah, well, everything is probably still too hot, so a good call. And the local emergency services there, yeah, they've got all of that. Again, they were told that you were coming and that they should cooperate with you, so they'll give you whatever you need.
Cool.
That's no problem. Koseh, you are able to locate sort of where Tiwi is, a couple hundred meters off from sort of the epicenter. Excuse me. And where on the ship was he when the front half of him?
The front half would have been wherever I set up. I think I don't know if she had like a room, but wherever she set up her little lab where she was like building Invicta's boot and like just whatever she has made as her little makeshift garage.
Yeah. So actually like your room and a couple of other rooms are sort of all in this area, and they're just, melted heaps of metal and insulation. It is very hot, and Tiwi is definitely in there somewhere.
Ilay, can you make it not? I have to get into there.
Sure. And I'll use the sweeping motions you're supposed to use with fire.
At the base?
Yes, and then it's true. I've done it. It works. I do it that way.
I'll tell you stories another time. Yeah, absolutely. It's not the time. Very tense. Yeah. So you put out the actual fires, of which there are a couple, and then sort of coat it, and it's still hot, but it is, passable. Now it's just a matter of, getting in there. So who's going in and how?
I'll go.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. And I'd like to use my backpack of spider climb to try to build a little cage around myself to try to skitter down and just stay away from, hot metal as much as possible.
Absolutely. Really? Yes, absolutely. That, I think, brings us to our first roll of the season. Let's do the thing, shall we?
Oh, are all of our stress still around?
We're not stressed. We're good. We're so good. There's no stress. There's no stress around.
You're like the person that asked if we have homework right now.
Oh,
Only
Invicta's
'cause I
very
have
stressed.
so much homework to
I'm
turn in.
gonna make it so much worse. Hey, Koseh, take a plot point for reminding me. There you go.
Oh no.
Now, not only is she the teacher's pet, but the teacher is 100% rewarding her for it.
It's okay. I'm the one that's
Um,
about to get a failing grade in 3 subjects.
Or it's gonna happen. All right, Koseh. So you've created this cage around you, and now it's just, it's only half of Tiwi, so pinpointing the location is a little more difficult. So tell me about how you're getting in there and what your dice pool is to manage it while I figure out a difficulty pool.
I love a tracking device. Koseh is known for that. So I definitely put a little when I split him in half to work on both halves, there's a little beep. It's the find your iPhone thing that you have from your Apple Watch. So the butt that I'm holding is beeping and pinging back and forth. So I have a direction to go in. And I think it's more of a navigating hot, heavy metal than anything else. She's like, I lose stuff inside of ships all the time. You just got to put a tracker on it so you can get back inside and find it.
Most definitely. Well, y'all, for what it is worth, it seems the dice gods have switched sides this season. I rolled a 3 and 2 opportunities. So Koseh, if you want to buy any of those opportunities to step down your stress, feel free.
I would love to buy both of those, please.
Do it. You can step down one of your 6s to nothing, or you can step down 2 of them to D4s, and then those you will include one at a time in future dice pools, and then that will clear them. Up to you.
Yeah. Let's drop. I'm gonna drop insecure down to nothing.
Yeah.
And then for my pool, backpack a spider climb, exploration.
Yeah, love that.
And this is I kind of want it to be sneak for the skill.
Oh, sure.
I think she's
really
kind of used to doing a ship scoot is actually pretty in her wheelhouse.
I like that. A ship scoot. I like that.
Sweet. And I forgot to add one of my other things, but it's fine. We did it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got a 9.
Did it fine with a D10 effect die. So yeah, I mean, you find Tiwi, one of the legs of the backpack of spider climb. It's a pretty narrow little opening, but one of them sort of snakes in there, grabs it, does the pull, nope, doesn't fit, turn, pull, nope, doesn't fit, turn, pull, and it comes out. And so you have the other half of Tiwi.
I'd like to think that I left the tablet in Ilay's hands just because she wouldn't have thought to grab it back. And I want to start. I just asked you got to run back. Show me whatever you know from before everything blew up. Where's Bertrand? And hopefully any information, I'm willing to burn my last plot point to have extra info come up, but would go primarily to Ilay.
Okay, cool. Let me check in with the rest of the crew while you're in there getting Tiwi, and then we'll find out what Tiwi knows. So the rest of you see Koseh with her backpack heading in to retrieve Tiwi, hopefully to get more information. What are the 4 of you doing in the meanwhile?
I'm gonna be I have the pad. I'm I'm done with this, and I'm gonna slowly hand it over to Ikemba, because Ikemba is the only other is a very tech savvy person that's close and has been working with Koseh. So I'm passing it over because he might understand what Koseh is gonna relay over.
Don't pretend like you thought he was gonna hand it to Koseh's current mortal enemy, Invicta.
No, but he didn't say that at first.
That's
it was
strong.
You're right.
It's
You're right.
ADHD. My brain takes 4 steps ahead, and it was totally intended to be they've shared eye thingies. They've shared the, Google Glass,
true.
whatever,
That's true. I forgot about that. All right, so Ikemba, you now have Koseh's pad.
Ikemba's just waiting for details, just waiting to see what happens, what Koseh sends up, if she sends up anything, and he just kind of relays down, Koseh, I have your pad. Whenever you're ready with anything, let me know.
Good. Solid, I would nine. Invicta, anything we should know about?
Invicta's just standing there and she's just got her head down thinking because she didn't get a chance to respond to Scylla. Because for her, she doesn't see Scylla. She sees Scylla as a person, her friend.
Right.
Tiwi right now is just a tool because she hasn't got a chance to do anything with Tiwi or really do anything. And the one time she tried to interface with Tiwi, she got rejected. So she's like, that's like the thing that Koseh built that doesn't like me. And I'm worried about my other very hopefully alive friend. And so that's where her brain was, not like I would reassemble or just remake Scylla. Right. So she's just thinking and she's frowning. She's like, if you looked at her, she would look like really angry right now. But she's not talking. She's already stuck a paw in her mouth for once today.
Scylla 919, how are you holding up?
Admiral Scylla 919 is still
just fine.
very much. Admiral Scylla 919 is still very much in her feelings. She's afraid, and she's feeling a lot of these things in full for the first time. So the dread, the fear, the anxiety of just waiting to find out what's happening, like hoping them on, like beyond hope that, you know.
Yeah. Can't say it, doesn't want to say it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So these various tense exchanges and just sort of eyes on Koseh and Tiwi and the wreckage. You make it back, Koseh, and you begin to. This was the front half, so it did also have sort of the optical sensors and the camera and whatever else was there. So you're able to piece together from video footage and sensor readings and everything else a little bit of what happened on the ship. So you can see Tiwi sort of clicked into the security systems, to the camera systems of the ship, because Tiwi wasn't going anywhere particularly fast, with only half of him being there. And so you watch the footage from the bridge as Bertrand is, taking off with the ship, heading up, getting to just about the apex, and Bertrand is obviously sort of enjoying it. Like he lets out a little like involuntary trumpet as he just breaks the atmosphere and gets that moment of weightless before the ship's autograv kicks in, or actually not even before the ship comes back down, and then alarms and flashes and another trumpet from Bertrand, a panicked trumpet, and Bertrand takes off running from the bridge. And the camera view sort of clicks to a couple of different cameras to follow Bertrand as he is running. And you all have spent lots of time on the Wish. You know he's heading for the escape pod. And you find this, like, you can sort of split screen a little moment when the weapon fires, and you can actually see as the cameras from the back of the ship to the front, as this beam slices through, the last solid image that you're able to catch of Bertrand is he is at one end of the corridor, at the other end of which is the pod, and the camera goes out and you're not sure. You check other data from the ship and you can see that the pod itself did eject, that the escape pod was released from the main ship, but Tiwi tells you that there were fail safes on the Wish, that the escape pods, when there's serious like compromising damage to the hull, there's a sort of threshold that the life support systems meet that the pods just go. Whether or not they've been ordered to, like, the hope is that maybe there are people in there, maybe there are unconscious people in there, whatever. So he may have been aboard. He certainly was close, but you don't know for sure.
Is it possible for Scylla to do a scan and just find, is there any signal coming in?
There is signal from the pod where it landed. It's a couple of kilometers away. So I think when you get closer, Scylla will be able to can probably try to do some kind of life form scan. But from here at the main ship site, I think you're too far away.
If we can go to where it is. Come on, let's go. We can go right now.
Sorry it didn't help more, but thank you for letting me get him.
You did help.
So at this point, as you all are regrouping and getting ready to head out, Ilay, Decker, and Maria and the team had rerouted, so it took them a little longer, but you see sort of the telltale, like there's no mistaking their vehicles, whatever they are, and they roll up or hover up or fly up. I don't know what their vehicle is, you can tell me. But they arrive as you all are sort of finishing up getting this data, this information, and preparing to head out.
So I see the whole team land.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see the transports for the team land, and Maria and Decker are the first ones out.
Okay, so I can approach that. I don't know how close they are in proximity.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're here in the same site.
I'm gonna approach them and like embrace both of them and give them a quick peck on the cheek. And so obviously there's a lot of damage everywhere, and you may need to speak to Koseh to figure out details of what happened. There's a video of what have you seen so far, and the vehicle that they come into, it's more of it has better hover capabilities than very fast acceleration movements, so that it can get into like tight spaces or precarious areas. So I would think they have more of a hover bound vehicle.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, they both return the embrace. Maria somewhat distractedly, she is already calculating search routes and whatever. Decker takes an extra moment with you to make sure that you're okay. Well, that's not true. Not to make sure you're okay, because obviously you're not okay, but to make sure that you are, hanging on.
Yeah.
And they sort of nod, and they, what Decker in particular encourages you, says, we're going to take care of things here. The rest of the team, and you can look over and see they're already interfacing with local search and rescue and emergency services. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else in this moment. Obviously, it's a lovely moment. We get to see Ilay with his partners, but a fraught moment.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, in a way, like, I'm reassuring Decker that I am fine, just like obviously there's like things happening, so like reassuring that I'm fine, but reassuring him while reassuring myself, kind of thing. And then after that happens, I am going to I guess I'm gonna ask Maria, what can I do? There's a lot going on, and usually it doesn't involve anyone that we know. How can it be helpful?
Yeah, I think she sort of looks at you, and you can I think you know Maria well enough to know what is behind her eyes most of the time at this point. So there's more to it, but she looks at you with almost a confused expression for a moment, and then just shakes her head and says, do what you always do. Search and rescue. You know what you're doing.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. And
she sort of smiles a little and basically says, we've got it handled here. The whole crew's here. If you need to go and check the other site with your friends, we've got this covered. We've got you.
I'll go to Koseh. So the video, what do you think? It showed the escape pod, and we know the signal of where the escape pod is, right?
Yeah, you do. It's a few kilometers further down the road away.
I'm gonna get the gang if they want. We're gonna get on the ship, the hover ship, and start cruising all the way over to where we need to go.
Let me just ask you, Ilay, does the crew, the Maria and Decker crew, do you all have a I don't know, like a saying or like a cheer or a motivational phrase, or do you have a thing that you all do? Maybe it's not a phrase, maybe it's yeah.
I'm sure we do, and we'll get to that when I figure that out. But I'm sure
Great.
I will get to it.
You and I will figure it out. One of us will figure
Bertrand's
it out.
more
We'll let
important
everybody
right
know.
now. You know, we gotta
Yeah,
find
it's fine.
Bertrand.
Whatever it is, the crew sees you and they, make the salute or say the thing or whatever. But the whole crew is, obviously there for you, even though you're going elsewhere. Speaking of going elsewhere, so we pop into the your transport and head towards the signal. Things get a little less simple out there. You had just sort of left the beaches and the shorelines of Mandira. The ship came down in an area that was it was forested in spots, but it was otherwise pretty flat. A lot of taken down trees where the debris came down, but it was pretty easy to navigate. But as you get closer to where the escape pod beacon is coming from, it's getting a little rockier. We're sort of heading into not the Great Rocky Mountains of Vatoa, but definitely a more uneven, sort of canyony, gulchy terrain. So things are going to be a little trickier out here. In fact, you all get to the edge of a particularly sheer cliff face, like I keep saying canyon. It's not the Grand Canyon, but it's, you know what I mean. And the beacon is coming from somewhere down in there. And you can maybe, from where you are, you can definitely see, you can all see evidence that something came down here. There are rockfalls and sort of freshly scarred rock on this cliff face. And down there is where the beacon is for this escape pod. And we'll see how you all get down there after our break. We're going to go on a quick break, you all, because I love a cliffhanger and y'all keep hiring me to come back for this. So what are you going to do? Enjoy your break. Get some water, get a bio, grab a libation, whatever you need to do. We're going to keep it to as close as 5 minutes as we can because we've only got a couple of hours per week with you all. So go do that. We're going to do the same. And then we'll see you back here very shortly. Thank you all for hanging out. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for sticking around. We are back. I was so excited about the recap and getting into play that I forgot to thank some of the people who are the reason that we're here today. So I do want to, I know I left you all the cliffhanger and now I'm making you wait longer because I'm awful. But I do have to thank some folks before we get back into the game. So hey, thanks so much to Die Hard Dice. You all know by now, they made some really dope, very pretty dice called the Musalian Skies set. You can buy them and everything else that Die Hard Dice has on offer by going to dieharddice.com. And if you use the code motherlandsrpg at checkout, then you will get 10% off your whole order. So go get awesome dice and use code motherlandsrpg and it'll be great. Next up, I have to thank Blue Microphones real quick for providing tech for the crew, making sure that we sound great for you all. Very appreciative of Blue Microphones and their support. You can find out everything they have to offer at bluemic.com. Obviously, our game is primed by Cortex here on the stream, and we want to thank very much the folks over at Cortex by Fandom. Follow them on Twitter at Fandom Tabletop. They got all kinds of cool stuff going on right now, and now that the Masters of the Universe Netflix show has come out, I am even more excited for their Legends of Greystall Masters of the Universe RPG. So go check them out. We are giving away 3, not 1, but 3 codes for digital copies of the Cortex rulebook every week this season. So do be sure and keep an eye. Mods will let you know how to enter. You've all have already been doing it because they're amazing. Thank you, mods. But we're giving those away every episode this season. So keep an eye on the chat for that. And of course, last but most certainly not least, we have to thank Twitch. Into the Motherlands premieres exclusively here on Twitch. And we are very grateful for their support for a 3rd season, y'all. That's a big deal. And they said, yeah, sure, do the thing. So we are grateful for that. All right. I got that in. I apologize to those 4 organizations for not thanking them at the top, but we had to get in, and that's what we got to do now. Let's get back in. You all have headed over to where the escape pod beacon is and have discovered that it seems to be, oh, yes. Am I calling on Christina or Silent 919? I'm not sure.
Calling on Christina. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but I have to say it because it's in
Please
my brain.
do.
I just wanted to give Ilay some advice that maybe the greeting should be, "This is how we do it." And then the other person responds and it's like, "This is how we do it." And that's how your greeting should be because you're getting the job done.
I had thought you were gonna respond, "It's Friday night." Like it's just always like everything's gonna be all good, so you respond with, "It's Friday night." Like that's why you say that, which is probably acceptable. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of very confusing lore about this setting that causes modern 21st century music to be in everybody's zeitgeist in the Motherlands. I don't know how it works yet, but I'm looking forward to figuring it out.
I was actually just waiting for the second half of that to be, "It's Saturday, Sunday, what?"
If there's no rescuing, they just go back and forth. The crew goes back. It takes like 5 minutes.
It's perfect.
I mean, it is.
Unless there's an emergency, in which case you just say, "This is
Isn't it
how we
always
do
an
it."
emergency when they're working?
Yeah, you just respond quickly with, "It's Friday night." Like it's gonna be all good.
That's
I just say your facts are really starting to piss me off.
All right, we got there is an escape pod that
We got a
may or
show
may
to
not
do. We got
contain
Bertrand to save. Okay, it's
That's
Friday
right.
night. Get it together.
Get it together.
It's
Here we
Wednesday
go.
night. It's Friday night. Get it together.
Whatever night. It is the middle of the damn day on Vitoa, and y'all are at the edge of a canyon at the bottom of which somewhere is an escape pod that may or may not contain your friend Bertrand. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna start climbing down in there.
Yeah, sure.
I've got claws. I'm gonna climb down.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you all can make it down to sort of the first level area fairly easily. But again, sort of like with Tiwi, pinpointing the exact location of the beacon is kind of difficult. It's obviously underneath something, some probably rock or whatever, and also, excuse me, it's very much a wide band, "Hey, come help me," not a "Here's the exact to the 3rd decimal GPS coordinate at which I am located." So you all can make it down a good ways into that canyon without too much trouble. You're all capable space adventure. Anyway, So you make it down there.
Erstwhile
and-
adventurers.
There you go. So you make it down and you can see where there is, I mean, it's obvious where this thing came down because there's a huge rock fall a little ways ahead of where you all are. And the beacon is somewhere in that direction.
Mm.
You can't
Run to the
unmute your
beacon?
mic and then not say anything. I get confused. Yes, I'm calling you out, Michael.
The thing I asked you in chat, would it be possible
Oh,
if I saw that person?
Yeah. So there is, in fact, thank you for reminding me. I'm so sorry, I forgot. So Invicta is also using a plot point to pull out some assets here for us. And so what that is also here, there are fewer of them because this beacon was sort of secondarily noticed as you all started asking questions about the escape pod. So there are fewer of them, but there are some local emergency services here. And they have, much like at the main crash site, they've come down into the canyon as well, mostly to do preliminary surveys and just to cordon off the area in case anybody, wanders into a dangerous zone. So as you all get down, you climb down to this first sort of staging area, this first landing. Invicta, you see that there are several actually Hyanol with this emergency crew. And you recognize at least one of them. And maybe even a few other folks, Hyanol or otherwise. Who do you know in this crew?
I see a couple Hyanol I went to university with. Like they were very into the medical side of study, and that's why some of them went into rescue, some went into being doctors, and my one adventurous cousin, who people would joke that we were probably more brother and sister than cousins because he's named Invictus and I'm named Invicta.
Oh, it was a nightmare. You all were never supposed to be as close as you were. Your parents were like, this is great, but also this is awful.
Yes, and then they named us almost exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
And so, the joke is, haha, you're related. And we're both like, if we're actually related, just don't, if we're siblings, just tell us. This isn't funny.
Right.
But he's got the same kind of similar fur pattern, except his hair is black instead of reddish, like Invicta's.
Oh, cool.
And he too carries a sword on his back, which is why they were close. While he can harm in one hand, he can heal in the other. And she sees him and yells out, hey, cousin, what are you doing here?
And he sort of turns around and looks for a minute and then comes jogging over and says, Invicta? What?
Yeah.
They said they were sending Torch, but.
And I kind of I point at my clothes because aren't we wearing Torch clothes at this point?
Oh, for sure. And he sort of, yeah, no, I mean, I see that, but why you here?
It's a long story. We have to get dinner. I haven't seen you. How's the husband?
I mean, he's great. He's wonderful. Invicta, I'm so happy to see you. What are you doing here?
We're looking for the pod you're looking for. Our friend may have been on it.
Immediate demeanor change from Invictus. It was, oh, cool, I get to work with my cousin, and just suddenly, oh, this is
He's
personal.
like professional.
Yep, immediately goes, dinner, yes, husband's great, let's do this.
Yeah, so walk and talk with me.
What I'll say is they, we can certainly play out more of a conversation and involve them, but in terms of your plot point and the asset that you are going to get here, and Ilay, don't worry, I know you spent a plot point and then your asset was a cute conversation with your partners. There are things that are going to happen at the crash site that you'll get, don't worry. But Invicta, you having family here just means basically that the emergency services that are here are 100% at your beck and call. The equipment that they have, the person power that they have, sort of everything will help you all. And on the back end in the mechanics, I'm going to be stepping down some of the dice I roll to hit set difficulties because you have the support of a whole rescue team, basically.
So roll for nepotism.
So roll for nepotism. It only took 3 seasons.
It's not like he's my dad or anything.
Right. Well, that's true.
Hey, that nepotism could find Bertrand. You don't know.
We'll find out, won't we? So,
Stop
you all
saying
have,
ominous stuff.
You all, I can't have a team
B.
there.
Dave Jr.
All of the equipment that you could want. You have the expertise of that team, and then also very obviously the expertise of Ilay, who, if I'm not mistaken, when we talked about this sort of topography is also very much y'all's thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you all tell me what you're doing, and we'll see what we need to do dice wise from there. But you have a lot of expertise and a lot of equipment.
So we see the pod, and where is it located in like a manor? You see
a rock fall, probably underneath which is about where the beacon is coming from. So part of it is going to be digging it out. Part of it is going to be getting to that rock fall, which is sort of on a precariously looking level, a little ways below where you all are now, even deeper into the canyon. You don't have a visual on the pod itself yet.
Okay. What I'm going to do is need a lot of rope. Obviously, this is Ilay. Gonna need a lot of carabiners, because hopefully there's something we can attach things to. So if something happens to the pod, it doesn't just go away from us. And the jaws of life. I have it, and I try not to look at Koseh, because I'm sure Koseh's like, "Can I has?" And I'm like,
yeah, you're hiding it.
I'm like,
putting your body between.
Maybe.
I love it.
And I think I'm just starting to set stuff up. I'm gonna hand out. Well, I don't know. There are harnesses. I'm gonna hand out a harness at least to Ikemba. I will place the harnesses out for other folks, but sometimes they have their own gadgets and things they can do. Like, doesn't matter. Even Ikemba doesn't need it. I'm going to use the harness. There's some harnesses if people wish to use it.
Truly, Ilay's superpower is always knowing exactly what to offer and how much to push it with you all, because...
So there's that.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm doing. And I'll leave it there. I don't know what everyone else is doing.
So if the rest of you, harness or otherwise, is everybody going to be trying to get down to this rockfall site? Are some of you, you all tell me how you would like to participate in this search and rescue?
I'm going to use my cousin and ask one, if he has any equipment that can search for specific life signs, and two, if they have any craft that can just get us down the rest of the way to the rockfall.
Okay, great. I'm going to take that under advisement while I see if the other 3 have anything.
Koseh's definitely like putting on the harness, and then is like, I got
on top of her backpack.
Yeah, and she's like putting it on under the backpack, and then she accidentally like all the like spider legs come out, which would be easy, like would make it easier to climb down. She is ignoring it because she loves a harness. She's like, okay, and so she's just like slowly attaching it while an easier mechanism to move wiggles around her.
I'm going to reward this behavior with the jaws of life. I'm going to pass it over because she put on the harness.
She did put on the harness. There's no universe in which somebody doesn't clip us saying harness 64 times in 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure if Tuck hasn't done it, then Mandy will get this later.
Cool. Great. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Invicta, Ikemba and Silent 919. How about y'all?
Ikemba's already got the harness on and is heading down. Like there was no questions. The second he got the harness, it was on. He was already on the climb.
Absolutely. Silent 919.
Silent's already let out the cleat-like bottom mechanism on the bottom of her shoes and is already climbing.
So Invicta, as you ask your cousin about what they have for you, the answer is yes to both, but then he sort of sees your friends like harnessed up and some of them like, extending cleats from their feet and he's like, I think it would take too long. I think y'all got the climbing handled. But he does have a probably fairly standard issue life scanner. They don't, local emergency services, they don't have anything super specific and pinpointy. You know, they couldn't like, can we find a Hatharayan? And but they can at least scan for life signs. So he is going to run, as you all are climbing down, he can scan from up where he is. So he's going to run back to the vehicle, get that, and he sends a few of the other medical or emergency services folks to climb down with you all. You know, just to make sure you guys got the support you need. So we will get the results of the scanner momentarily. You all are climbing down. And I do need, we should move over. I did not warn our producer, sorry. We should move over to rolls because we're gonna need a few from folks.
Oh my God.
Alrighty. Sorry, I was too busy being shocked that apparently Abria has stolen the wormhole magic from me. I watched you. I saw that. I saw that. All right. So first thing is to climb down this not steady, not stable. Honestly, in any other situation, probably not good to climb on. Rock face mountain area, whatever. So toss y'all's, if you are climbing down, toss y'all's pools together for that. All of you, if you so choose. Whether it's because of foot cleats or harnesses that they provided for you or whatever, you can all have a d6 asset to add if you so choose. You all know how it goes. The more dice you roll, the better chance you roll well, but also the better chance you roll ones. And I am going to roll up a flat difficulty here. Let's see if it goes any better than last time. A little bit. All right, so we got a 12 to get down here.
So we're doing a pool, and we can add a d6 asset?
You can add, yeah, you can add an additional d6, which is the asset of the climbing gear and whatever this crew that you got here, basically Invicta with your plot point. And I think once you have your pool together, since you're all rolling, we're going to call it a static, the same difficulty for everybody. So just go ahead and roll them up once you've got them, and I will keep an eye on those numbers. So Ilay got a 12, which, as I recall, meat does not beat.
Classic me.
Cortex. So the good news is you didn't get any stress. You didn't hitch. Is there anything you would like to do to move that number? I don't know if you have any plot points left.
I do not, so no.
Okay, well, there it is. All right, so we'll get to that in a moment. Let's see, who's this? Invicta? Is this Invicta? Yes, Invicta got a 17, no problem. Got down there with no trouble. Koseh also got a 15, got down there with no problem. And Sila 919
changed her mind on her descent.
Okay, Ikemba got down there with a 14, no problem. Sila 919, what are you doing instead? And then we'll figure out what happens to poor Ilay, who, of course, the rescuer is the only one.
I would like to give him a plot point, just throwing it out there.
Okay, great. Yes, and we'll do that in just a moment. Sila, what are you doing instead of going down?
Oh no, I'm still going down, but I got impatient trying to climb down and walk down. So I've decided that I would like to try and like drop in and then just kind of like hit the little superhero landing. And I'm going to do that now. Let's see what happens.
All right. I feel like I should change your difficulty because it is a different activity. Roll it up. Sila also got a 12, which also meets and doesn't beat. So here's what we do. So Ilay, you are... Stop me if any of this seems incorrect, because I'm taking a bit of leeway here. So stop me if it seems wrong. But I think Ilay in this moment knows what they are doing and has done this 1,000 times before, but it's different. Not only because the rescue subject is obviously someone close to you, but also because you have a bunch of friends who may be very capable, but are not rescuers, throwing on harnesses quickly and trying to climb an unsteady mountain very quickly. So in trying to help them and make sure that they are secure, you miss a single buckle, loop, fastener, whatever. And so it's not like you tumble down and fall down this thing, but the harness comes loose and you jerk. Ikemba, with that plot point, rather than Ilay coming loose and falling and taking some injured stress, you are able to grab Ilay's harness and just muscle it so that the two of you make it down. It's not pleasant for either of you, but you make it down, the two of you uninjured. Scylla, describe this descent for me, and then I will, change it.
Scylla decides that has grown impatient. She says, forget this. And she just like pops those back in and backflips down.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a meet, not a beat, and your effect die was a D10. So it's really not that bad. I think you misjudge the backflip just a hair and don't get quite far enough out. And as you come back around, you all sort of hear the sound of metal on porcelain on stone as the back of Scylla's head sort of like scrapes the rock a little bit as she heads down. It's on the back of your head. I don't know how Scylla feels about, Mansagene scars and all that, but it could be super dope. Yes?
But I'm just going to throw this out there.
Please do.
Scylla has very cushiony hair.
Yeah. I mean, I could rip out a couple of the locks if you prefer.
You better watch your mouth.
That's what I thought.
Oh my God, if y'all ever meet in person.
We have, although not since we've done this. She's got a lot.
Man, you might have problems, bro.
Like,
It's been nice knowing you.
I'm gonna buy her so many drinks, it's fine. So
you don't want this smoke.
You really don't. I'm throwing it out there. I'm pleading the fifth in it, but I get
for
the
my
feeling
safety.
you
I'm
don't
gonna
want
turn
that smoke, bro.
I'm gonna turn the cam off so like I don't have to.
Yeah, right. So Scylla, take your effect die is so good, and mine I think was not. So take a D4 of injured. It'll resolve itself on your next roll. It's not anything that's gonna be so terrible. But
it's
you do
okay. I'm not hurt. Just injured.
Just injured.
Although I did ask a question in our chat. I don't know if you saw it.
I'm sorry, I missed it. There's a lot of very funny stuff going on in our chat.
Basically, can I help because I rolled so well?
Oh,
Since Ikemba was able to help Ilay, and I rolled really well.
Plot point to help Ilay.
Oh,
so you're welcome to do that if you got any left.
I don't know. Did I get any after I used mine for my cousin?
I mean, you all started with one today. If you had some from the previous season, I don't mind if they roll over from session to session, but I don't know how many you had.
At most, I would have had one or two.
Okay.
But if you let me spend it.
Yeah, sure. Do it. So Scylla, cancel that. And okay, but Invicta, tell me how you so you see that Scylla has not quite gotten enough takeoff.
Oh, I kind of like leap over because I'm envisioning as like I know these kind of canyons and areas. I jump over and like a very graceful like tackle, but I do it so she won't like get like crack her head open or anything. Yeah. And when we tumble over, I basically land feet up and put her down on her feet.
Give him bodyguard.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so there you go. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment to really visualize that because it's lovely. All right, so you all make it down to this level. There's a lot of jumping happening. So y'all want to do this quickly because the rocks are shifting. This rock fall is obviously not stable. There is still canyon to fall into should things shift in a bad way. But you have all made it to the general vicinity in which the escape pod beacon is coming from. What are you doing? Yeah, my Ilay.
I'm actually kind of happy I gave the Jaws of Life to Koseh because I'm going to spend the time securing the ship to the pod so it doesn't fall further, because that would be a tragedy if something was to happen. So what I'm going to do is make sure I just put as much lines that I brought down with me to connect, so it doesn't just go away if we misstep or something happens.
Yeah, absolutely. local services will help you with whatever you need there, so you're able to do it much more quickly. And I'm just going to take that under advisement. How about the rest of you?
Are we close enough that Sila can scan or no?
Yes, now you definitely are.
Okay.
So you, Sila, take a quick life form scan now that you're down here. I will say, Invicta, from up top, you hear your cousin call down that the equipment that they have, there's so much rock, is having some trouble penetrating, but they're calibrating. It'll be just another moment. Meanwhile, Sila 919, you are closer, and so you begin your scan, and you have some similar troubles at first. There's a lot of rock, but then eventually, you start to get readings that you have moved through the stone, and now you're hitting metal. So you think you've found the pod itself. You go into, you continue to search for life signs. You go deeper. And there is the faintest of life signs.
Bertrand? Can I project my voice out and speed over?
Yeah. I think everybody hears the amplified voice calling for Bertrand. Sila's heading over to the pile.
Come with me. There's a sign over here. Let's go.
Koseh is very diligently following Ilay for what it's worth.
Yep. And Invicta is off like a shot, although I do think you're muted. I just tried to read your lips and your body language.
I am off like a shot. You were correct. Congratulations.
Ikemba's right there with her, like
yeah.
right there. Like also just going.
I'm also yelling up top because there's services above us to because they don't know who's down here with us. They probably don't. And so I yell out, I need a Hothorean Stokes litter. And basically it's just like something that you can put a person in and they can get hoisted up. And so because that is probably, I don't think we're gonna all be able to carry him like that. So
watch me.
He's a big boy.
I should have not assumed. Anyway, there's a Stokes litter just in case. So there's that.
Ilay, when you call out for that, you see everybody up top just sort of pause for a minute as they're like,
if you're pausing, you need more people.
And they all are, off to do it. And a few moments later, as you all are heading to the rockfall, you see that they have sort of cobbled together a few litters for this. They, Hothoreans are not, or really anyone of that size is uncommon in this area of the Toa, and they apparently were not prepared, but they have created something, and they're beginning to lower that down. The rest of you are off over to this rock pile. You see where Ilay and the other emergency services people have sort of tied off and cordoned parts of the rocks and the boulders to secure them, which is going to make everything that you do much easier. It's going to make it so that, you all really can, and if you can move it and it hasn't been secured, then it's probably safe to move it. So in fact, why don't we, because I do think at this point you all have done the work. So why don't we head back to our big screen? I think we can leave the roles for a little while. All right. So you all are pulling rocks. You are shifting boulders, the three of you. And eventually you get down to, it is probably big enough to get Bertrand through, but just barely enough of the exterior hull of the pod cleared for you to get in. It is of course not where the hatch is. That would be far too simple, but at least you've cleared it.
What do we see now that we've cleared it?
a beat up but intact, as far as you can tell, still intact emergency pod hull. And you've seen, it was one of those fixtures on the Wish that you saw a million times and sort of stopped thinking about. But immediately when you see it, it is an escape pod from the Wistful Wish. You can see that it is dented and dinged but intact. You can but again, solid hull. There's no hatch on this side.
Ooh. I turn to Scylla. Can you open the hatch?
Scylla's gonna pull 3 braids forward with lasers attached.
Oh.
She had
no, I'm not. I mean, I just wasn't sure what to expect, and it wasn't that, but it's great.
Yeah, it's like, zzz, and she's gonna take them out, zzz, and then she's gonna start pulling. Well, like how many tons is I got this? So she's gonna just start like ripping the hatch off, or the non-existent hatch, and making one. And what does she see, Jazzy?
Well, so what she sees, you managed to get this off, the exterior hull off, and what you see beneath that, what you all see beneath that, is then the interior sort of protective. It's not, to call it padding makes it sound like an airbag, but it's sort of a very thick, padded protective layer that you are now at. And Scylla, it's very dope, but it is going to take you kind of a moment as you're pulling that back. So I know Koseh had Jaws of Life. I know Invicta and Ikemba were deeply invested in this as well. So while Scylla is pulling metal hull, there is time if anyone else wants to jump in.
Yeah, Koseh definitely gives a look to Ilay, can I? And then kind of waggles the Jaws of Life. I'm gonna run in and get beside Scylla and start working with her.
Yeah, it's wild. Obviously, they are designed to cut through metal, but this padding, this protective layer, is thick enough, and there is enough. It's not all just cushion, right? There has to be some firm support there. So it's a job for the Jaws as much as the exterior hull was, for sure. But you have the tools because you all are really taking everything you possibly can from these emergency services, which is great. That's why we spent a point on them. And you can cut through that. As you pull away the first sort of piece of it, you do see that there is blood on the inside of the padding. But as you pull it away and the light from above shines in, you can see Bertrand, one eye swollen shut, cradling an arm, the other eye open, and his trunk just raises just enough to let out the tiniest little trumpet, and then sort of falls limply. You can tell he's breathing, but he's unconscious.
Koseh's gonna cut as much away and very specifically try to maneuver in, our healers. Oh, that's blood, and I'm just gonna cut over here and get out of people's way.
Yeah. So Silent 919 has the metal hull. Koseh has the interior padding. You can get at Bertrand. He is in bad shape, but he is alive.
Scylla is continuing to tear a little more rapidly at this casing, and also is just leaking straight oil tears down her face with bits of relief, but also still terror that they won't get there in time, but just pulling a little more quickly.
Yeah, the oil is dripping down, and your hands sort of slip a few times on the hull that you're pulling because it's kind of all over. The rest of you?
I'm helping.
Yeah,
Ikemba, come on.
I'm gonna get I'm not gonna do any Lightbringer stuff because I'm just getting the litter placed side by side to where he's gonna come out, so we can just.
Yep, absolutely. Is there anything that, because we do have some folks with some form of healing capabilities, although, this is a very different situation than I think any of you have, well, not Ilay, but then Ikemba, I think probably has been in. You've healed plenty, but, not like this. So are you doing anything before you get him out, or are you getting him out first? There are pros and cons to both choices.
Was that pointed at Ikemba?
Yep.
Mostly Ikemba and Invicta, since you two are probably the ones that are going to, be directly interfacing with him right now, since everyone else is doing other things.
Ikemba trusts his capabilities firmly,
Yeah.
without doubt, without question. But he does not want to toy with what Bertrand's going on with without talking to someone else out of principle, just because Bertrand can't give consent for Ikemba to try.
Sure.
And Ikemba does not want to ruin that, and doesn't want to go in to try to help Bertrand and hurt him. So Ikemba doesn't know, this is the first time he's been hit with a situation where he could possibly help or hinder someone that he is close to.
Yeah.
So he is torn.
I'm gonna look at Ikemba. You have to do it. All of us are busy at the moment, and we all have things that we're doing, and at least assess them. Use something. You're good at assessing, at least.
I can, but if I hurt Bertrand, I could never look at myself again in the mirror, and that would be far too problematic.
You will. We're more likely gonna hurt him worse if we don't know what's going on with him. So you must at least give him a look over using. I've seen you analyze people before, so if we know that we can take him out quickly, that serves him to a benefit. If we know we have to be a little bit more tedious and careful, that serves a benefit as well. But if we don't know, it's much worse if we don't.
I can attempt to figure out where the problems are, if that would be useful, rather than trying to fix immediately. That way I could at least understand where his problems are.
Ikemba, do it.
All right.
Ikemba, what are you doing?
Without words, he puts his hands right over Bertrand and just goes to inspect.
Yeah, and I think it is everything that you have just said sort of wrapped up into one. Without panicking, I do need you to put together a pool for this and roll it. That's all I'll say.
Life is logical.
As you go in there. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that and Biopriest is the same role. It's a life is logical for Ikemba immediately. Fix. Even though he's not going to actually attempt to fix right now, he does want to understand what he would need to fix.
For sure.
So that has to happen. And knowledge, because this is not the first time he's kind of made this kind of role. So he understands what he's doing. It's just, this is really close to home. So he doesn't want to hinder. And this is just an attempt to figure out what's going on. So with absolutely. That, it is rolled.
All right. I've lost your little button. Here we go. Here you are. Okay. Difficulty was an 8. You rolled a 9. So well done. You get in there and you immediately can feel that there's a lot of fractured bones. The worst things that you're mostly worried about, spine seems okay. Definitely a concussion, definitely a concussion. Definitely some broken ribs. It's hard for you to sort of immediately verbalize, because in terms of the anatomy and physiology of the Hathores, you didn't study that. You just sort of understand it implicitly with your abilities. So what you sort of understand is that there are some broken ribs, and a couple of them are dangerously close to something important. It's hard to say immediately whether it's lungs or heart or something else. But you all, the takeaway is he's okay. You all have to be very, very careful about getting him out.
And immediately with that, Ikemba spreads that to everyone. He's all right. There is a vital organ that is affected by broken ribs. Spine's all right, but there are issues. We need to be extremely careful if we're moving him now, because
Fix him then.
one wrong move is a problem.
Then fix him. That's your job. Do your job.
And then he just looks at every party member just like calmly with pleading eyes of just, should I do this? To everyone, like one by one. He looks at Koseh and already knows how she feels about it. He looks at Ilay and just,
We're a team. We're all here together. We're all supporting you.
he looks at Invicta.
I actually reach out and offer my hand. I believe in you, but I also know that you don't want to hurt Bertrand. You know in your heart that you'd rather not take that chance. We can very gently get him out. And my cousin's up there. He can help.
Your cousin's not down here.
He
Getting
can be down
Bertrand
here
to your
quickly.
cousin.
No, my cousin would come down.
If we can get him down here, perfect. Because I showed it.
And
And then he looks at Admiral Silent 919.
Core of who we are as bio priests. Save him.
And without word, he looks at Invicta. Bring your cousin down now.
And she's off.
Fail with this. And he yells, if I fail with this, I need assistance immediately. And then he immediately puts his hands out over Bertrand with a goal to fix.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt in that like heartbeat before he puts his hands out after he yells? I think Koseh just like puts her hand on his face and goes, "You won't fail.
He just nods.
Do it."
And like without words, he just nodded. Bio priest, fix, knowledge, rolled. Not even gonna wait.
Yeah, that's fine. As you do that, as you put your hands and get ready, time slows down for you. The rest of you see Invicta calling up to Invictus. You see the entire team immediately, except for the ones that are helping Ilay secure things. The rest of them immediately hop to and begin to prepare all of these different things that they can do, either to extract him safely or to secure him. They're doing all of the things, moving very quickly, very efficiently. But Ikemba, all you see, it's all a blur. It's all muted. It's like you're underwater. You are aware of people moving around you, but the only thing that matters is your friend beneath your hands. And this is the second time in as many days that a friend of yours has been badly injured and you've been put on the spot to save them. And it just feels like every time it's worse. They're in a worse spot. You are taking a bigger risk, but obviously your friends are behind you. You haven't failed yet. You know what you need to be careful of. And so we see that glow again. Just like from Ilay, but without mixing with his Lightbringer powers. And we see it travel into Bertrand. And as you feel him, you ever so gently, it feels like it takes forever. The light ever so gently lifts up the piece of rib that's close to the organ, and you watch as the code that creates, that sustains these bones recalculates and becomes whole strings again. And it's fragile still, but it's moved away from danger. And you travel up to his head and you see where you can see literally where the brain hit up against his skull and where it is swelling, and you're able to take that and just gently adjust the code so that the swelling still protects but doesn't endanger. And then you go around to each of the worst of the broken bones. And again, you set those strings of code to unite again, just enough that you can move him without making it worse. And you see then, as you begin to pull back, you see Bertrand's essence. You see the logic behind what keeps him together. And you see that it is still in such a fragile place. But at the worst points, at the parts where the code was the most corrupted, where it was the most disjointed, you see not only the repaired code, but your light just holding and supporting. And by the time you are able to sort of fully pull out of your work, you see that a team of the rescuers and your friends have been able to bring in just little harness loops and supports and ropes and have already begun, because you've been done for a while, it just took a minute for you to pull back, have begun to gently lift the battered and bruised but very much alive Bertrand out and onto this makeshift litter that they've created that is big enough for him. And he's still unconscious. He's not able to thank you or respond in any way right now. But the last thing that you see, Ikemba, as the code sort of fully falls from your eyes, at least for now, is that strong on-off binary of Bertrand's heart back into a much stronger, much more regular on-off switch is sort of the way that you see it. With Bertrand out, relatively safe for the moment, I think that's where we'll call it for this week. Thanks, y'all. It's so good to be back with my
this
friends.
episode.
Yes.
It's so good to be back with my friends. Thank you all. This was very, very exciting. I really appreciate you all
Welcome
jumping
to season 3.
back in. Yeah, no shit. Welcome to season 3. I promise not every episode will be like this. I couldn't do it.
Don't say that.
Lies.
I want more.
Lies.
I mean, there will be more.
There would.
Don't you worry.
You're so chaotic.
Yes,
You know, and I never used to be.
I
It's
love it.
P-Dave's fault. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out. We will be back at you next week, same time, same place, for more of this, because, you know, we solved one problem, but there's a whole lot of problems yet to address. So we will see you all next week. Let's go around, let everybody know who you are, where they can find you on the interwebs, because all y'all is doing awesome things, so that they can keep up with you between now and next Wednesday. Who's starting?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Such as the tradition goes. Hello, my name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I'm in several TTRPGs. Second Star to the Right, Let's Get Wild Now, and Fae Forge Academy podcast. You can check those out on Twitter. I was also, if you like Commander and Magic the Gathering, I was on Game Nights. If you haven't seen that yet, check that out on the YouTubes. Really easy, just put Game Nights, and like Knights as in sword, shield, knights. So go ahead and check that out, and had a super awesome episode. I'm very happy I got to pile things over to DJ. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you. That was intentional, but it was awesome, and you carried it. Your
Appreciate you. Here for you, man.
RPG things.
Since he mentioned me, I figured it's probably a good idea for me to just continue. Hi, I'm DJ Knight.
Absolutely.
I am a space and sci-fi streamer here on Twitch. You can find me pretty much at DJ Knight at all the things. I'm excited. That's probably the most tense moment for Ikemba in the show, and
It's good.
he helped Ilay come
So
back from
far.
the brink. So, like, yeah, I know the tendencies of our resident light dom DM right now. It's wild. Yeah, I said it out loud. I don't
Soft
care.
dom.
I'm wild.
Let's be clear about the
I
link.
said light just to, like, I couldn't remember the proper terminology of the first word. I was just like, light, let's be easy. But The energy was there tonight, sir. Well played. But no, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming to hang out with us for season 3. And that was stressful. So luckily, we got some giggles before we leave here right now, just to relieve that stress a little bit. Because y'all are awesome. This team is awesome. And I'm honored to be here. I'm going to shut up.
All right, who's next?
I'll hop in.
All right.
Hi, I'm Abria Iyengar. You can follow me on social media at Quiddy, Q-U-I-D-D-I-E. On tomorrow, you can catch me over on Critical Role's channel running Exandria Unlimited. It's episode 7 of 8, so we're getting into the end game, baby. So you can catch that at 7 o'clock Pacific. On Fridays, you can catch me over on Failed Safe on Pixel Circus's channel, also at 7 p.m. So over on Dimension 20, you can actually catch the show that I ran for them, Misfits in Magic. All of that's available on Dropout, and episode 1 just got released on the YouTube. So that first taste is free, and then you can catch all the other episodes on dropout.tv. And on August 18th, which is a Wednesday, but I love a Wednesday. I love being here. I love being everywhere. Is the premiere of The Seven, the newest Dimension 20 season, and I play Antiope Jones of The Seven Maidens. It's a tie-in with Fantasy High.
Fantasy
You
High,
get to
I'm
check
so
that out.
excited. Sorry, I'm nerding out on my own over here. Go on.
That's it. There's other stuff, but I've forgotten it. So just follow me on Twitter.
I love it. That sounds about right. Who's next?
Tanya.
Damn it. I was hoping Christina would go. Hi, I'm Tanya. Eugenio made me go drink in the middle of this episode.
You're welcome.
And I'm so glad y'all can't see the backstage chat. Oh boy. But I'm here every Wednesday. Obviously, it's my channel. Tomorrow, I get to hang out with DJ. I get to see him twice in a week. It's exciting.
I forgot to say that. Thank you for saying the thing.
Thought about it for a second. I'm like, no, surely he didn't miss Black Dice Society.
Oh, I was too busy talking about words.
Soft doms.
Yeah, I was trying to not say it again out of principle, but I forgot we were here. I should have just gone and said it. Like I was trying to go back to the soft dom situation, but we're here now. So
we're here, but we're also on the front page. Well,
not anymore. We're not.
I tried.
Womp womp. Respects soft dom Eugenio.
And to be fair, that is all Quiddy who said that. I just said it out loud.
Don't pass the blame.
I'm not passing the blame. I'm trying to give you your roses for the amazingness, and I'm gonna shut up. It's Tanya's turn. I'm gonna shut up. Hi, I'm DJ.
Hi.
I'm out.
It still weirds me out when you actually use my name.
Sorry.
Wow. No, it's fine. Sorry. Where did you go? I'm like, we're just missing a DJ. Tomorrow, Black Dice Society. DJ is Desmond, human ranger, with a little bit of lycanthropy, just a little bit, and I am a drow dumpier blood hunter with a little bit of the beast in her, and don't think that, you nasty fucks. And
front page.
Look, it's now 8:02. We're not done. We're not on front page anymore. And Rivals is on hiatus till we figure out when exactly we're going to maybe sort of tell you when our 11th season is starting, in which our storyteller here is going to do more stuff, but I will let him tell you that information. And at some point, I'll stream again on my own channel. I don't know what. Oh, Sunday, Dungeons and Durags, assuming we all play, is 3:30 Central on I Need Diverse Games. I'll stop now so Christina can go.
Hi, kids.
Ready.
It's me.
Ready for
Christina Ariel. KRYSTINA ARIELLE. It's on my birth certificate. Ariel's not my last name. Just throwing that out there because of an email I got. But anywho, hi. I'm going to catch you guys up on some stuff. Did you know you can catch me here? But you can also catch me as the host of Star Wars The High Republic show on StarWars.com. And if you missed it, I also hosted the Star Wars The High Republic Lucasfilm Publishing panel for San Diego Comic-Con last week. So if you missed that, you can catch up on it, and you can catch up on the High Republic show episode, only if you're caught up on the books because it's spoiler adjacent. But you should do that. Keep your calendar Google alert thing set, because I'm hosting the Concept Art Association Awards with Aldous Hodge from Hawkman and from a whole bunch of other movies and Leverage. So please watch out for that, because Listen, while I have this captive audience, the look that I'm planning is such a serve. It has its own soundtrack. I kid you not. I will post the link to it, but it's a whole vibe. I appreciate all of you, and it's really cool to be here as Admiral Silent 919. And that is a real title given to me by myself, but made canon by myself, and put it in the system by hacking by myself. You're welcome, DM Jazzy Hands.
I get like 3 emails a day, and all they say is Admiral Silent 919. I don't know who they come from. Hey everybody, I'm Eugenio. I'm DM Jazzy Hands. I've been your storyteller. Thank you so much for being here. You can find me on the Twitters and here on Twitch at DM Jazzy Hands. Right now, this show is pretty much my primary focus. I am still streaming Mass Effect on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a good time. It's nice to be back. And then I'm here on Wednesday nights. Rivals of Waterdeep will be back soon. We will hopefully be announcing season 11 start date. And Bohemian and I are going to be co-DMing this season. So I'm super excited about that, but that's all I can say right now because we haven't announced a start date. And a few other shows will be coming up next month. But for now, find me here every Wednesday, Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons on my channel. And I think that's it, right? You all know better than I do. I think that's it.
Go watch Game Changer. You can still watch it.
Oh yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely. All these lovely faces make appearances.
I hosted the Loungefly fashion show for FunCon.
Oh
so
my goodness,
you can go and you can still watch that. It was on Monday. It was really cool. There's some really great purses. And Anika Noni Rose was there. So I got to meet a real life Disney princess and it made me feel even more like a Disney princess. So I hope that you'll watch it because it's a dream country.
Your dress made you look like a Disney princess. It was incredible.
Yeah, it did. So all of these awesome things that you can find all of these awesome people doing all week until we're back here next Wednesday. Y'all, thank you so much. It is really, really nice to be back, to know that we got 9 more weeks of this with y'all, that the 6 of us get to hang out with friends and tell stories, and that you all are here to encourage our poor behavior. We appreciate you. Don't go anywhere. We are going to raid our friend and character artist, Pleasantly Twisted. You have no idea what she is playing, but we're going to go hang out over there. So give her all the love, and we will see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, here at twitch.tv/CypherOfTier for episode 2 of Into the Motherlands Season 3. And until then, please stay safe, please stay healthy, and happy gaming, y'all.
This is how we do it.
This is
Bye.
how we do it.
it.
Friday night.
Bye, Mom.
Wednesday.
Saturday, Sunday, what?